Namaskar everyone, my name is Divisha Khurana and today I am going to present on one of the biggest legal issues, the intersection of IP and AI. As AI is becoming part of our daily lives, the big question is how we can give the ownership of the content that is created by AI and how we can protect the human artists that manually do that. So the transition, we have moved from the old AI like the calculator to the new generative AI which can create hyper-realistic images, music and even patentable innovations. So the conflict is that our current IPR laws were built in the 18th and 19th centuries for printing presses, not neural networks. So the challenge, three main challenges that we face today is the ownership, infringement and licensing. So can machines be inventors? The first case that I studied was the Davis case in which Dr. Stephen Taylor attempted to name his AI Davis as the inventor on patent applications for a fractal beverage container and a neural frame device. But the US and the UK both said no, that AI cannot be an inventor because it's not a natural person and it doesn't have its own mind which actually can invent. So the legal void is because machines lack a mind to conceive ideas, AI generated inventions without human intervention currently fall into the public domain. So the copyright panel, the US Copyright Office also rejected Taylor's AI generated art, a recent entrance to paradise. The next is the infringement, the data ingestion. AI models ingest a large number of data, which is data scrapping. In that, they certain times use the infringed data, and the regurgitation problem is that sometimes AI produces near verbatim copies of training data which is overfitting, which looks like direct copyright infringement. So the problem is not that the AI is a copy, but the problem is during the training process they use infringed data. There are certain litigations going on, and for the New York Times versus OpenAI case, in that New York Times claims that the AI that is generating the content just substitute and hallucinates the damage the brand equity. Next is Getty Images versus Stability AI case. Evidence of AI generated distorted Getty images. Next is a global perspective on how they perceive the AI. So the EU AI Act completely say that highly regulated approach requiring developers to publish summaries of copyrighted training data and respect opt-out flags. Whereas the Japan is considered the copyright heaven because in Japan it allows all data scrapping for machine learning, even for commercial use. So this Japan has done to attract major companies to come and establish it. In China says that the recognition of prompting, in the case the Beijing Internet Code ruled that high-level prompt engineering and parameter adjustment showed enough intellectual contribution to grant copyright to the human server. Thank
you. Just one very interesting presentation, in-depth research in that sense. Flip the switch on what you presented. As an engineer, when you think of IP and AI, have you thought through what are the components of an AI system? Because we indeed talk about AI, talk about models. But AI system is multiple components. We thought through what components of an AI system exist and how does IP intersect with different components of an AI system. It could be hardware, it could be software, it could be different components.
Okay, so when the computer is being trained on certain data, that time the data that they use, that could be a copyrighted content. So when they use that particular content, there is a problem. But when anything that the AI generates, that is not an issue, because certain times the content that they create are different from what is copyrighted. But again, due to overfitting, certain times the content that AI generates is almost similar to the copyrighted content.
Okay, one question. What is your take on AI assisted creative works? Isn't it? How countries are approaching that?
Like I said, in China's case, so it says that prompt engineering can be considered an artistic work. Like for example, when a person makes certain changes, and when it can be considered that the changes are sufficient to be considered human work, then China says that it can be given to the
You need to
artist that is
segregate the
the
components. Isn't
Sorry?
it? You need to segregate the components which is humanly dominated or which
Yes.
is not. Is it so?
Yeah, we can say that. China says that.
You are more aligned to China. There are other jurisdictions.
Yeah, no, actually, China has already given jurisdiction to that. That's why I'm
Even
talking
US
about
is
China.
doing in a very flexible manner. US is doing in a very
Yes.
flexible manner all these inventions, isn't it?
Yes.
Or creative works.
I mean, actually, they can actually not fully want the licensing, because again, the problem is money.
Okay. Thank you.